Hello, Instagram, and welcome to our first Wellness Break Live of 2025 or 2025, if you will. Joining me today, I've got Lori Milner, who is an executive coach, a speaker, and a trainer. She is absolutely inspiring, and I'm really excited to chat with her about some goal setting. January is just the right time for us to be setting goals for the year and finding ways that we can be accountable. And here she is. Give me a few minutes while I let her in here. Welcome to the Shedless Wellness Break Live, the first one of 2025 or 2020 Thrive, as this year has been coined by everybody. And I'm so excited to have you here and talk about goals. So tell our audience a little bit more about you and what you do, because you're amazing.
Thank you. So I think I'm one of the blessed who get to do what they love every day. So I started my business in 2011 and I spend my days working as a coach, so an executive coach, a life coach. I'm in training rooms, I'm speaking, and really the focus is around how do you bridge the gap between work and personal life, whether it's how do you manage resilience or how do you create more resilience.
Yeah.
I never talk about balance, managing your time, but really it's about personal mastery. So tools that you can really get to know yourself better and accept yourself unconditionally.
Yes. So tell us, perhaps if there are maybe just like some easy hacks that people can implement into their daily lives that will help us achieve exactly what you've just explained.
Perfect. So I was giving a lot of thought to when we were having this conversation, and I'm really touched that I get to be the first conversation of the year. And I think when we come into January, we typically coming from the New Year's resolutions, this is what I want to do. And it's incredibly healthy, I believe, in having
Yes.
goals because it's giving you clarity, it's giving you focus, and it's giving you, okay, what do I want to shift? What do I want to do differently than the year before? But the difference would be instead of going straight into the doing and the behavior, to take a step back and instead of focusing on the to-do list, there are two other lists that should come first. And for me, the one is a to-be list. So
Mm,
really, who do I want to be this year? How do I want to show up? And we might have a slightly different list if it's in a work capacity or personal. So let's say, for example, I want to be indispensable. I want to be trustworthy. I want to be dynamic. I want to be innovative. I want to be known as being reliable. I want to be consistent. So great. If that's the intention, there's a little mini sub goal, which is what's the ritual? So if I want to be more patient, so maybe you found yourself speaking up in meetings or saying things, and there should have been a little mini pause before you did that. Okay, which we all do. What's the ritual? So maybe what I can do differently is before I walk into the meeting, before I answer that phone call, before I have that conversation, my little mini ritual is I'm just going to breathe and I'm going to set my intention. So my
mm,
intention is to be present. My intention is just to listen. So it's about who do I want to be at the end of the year? Because why does this help with goals? If you've struggled with procrastination, as we all do, but your intention is I want to be seen as indispensable, you're not being
yeah.
congruent. So in your head, why do we procrastinate? A multitude of reasons. Usually it's the fear of not being perfect or being judged. So inside, there's this inner narrative that's causing us to delay, to defer. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Let me work on the lower hanging fruit. But the impact is that you are not delivering. You are handing in something late. It affects our
Mm,
perceptions.
mm,
So it just keeps you in line that when that self talk comes up to go, oh, this is not comfortable. Okay, but what do I want to be known
mm,
for? Okay,
mm.
so maybe I need to reach out and ask for advice. Maybe I need to get some clarity. So it just helps you on the little day to day behaviors. And then the other list is a to feel list. And I think a powerful question to ask yourself going into the year, how do I want to feel at the end of the day? Because for
Mm.
most of us, we land up feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, maybe a little resentful, anxious. And if you said, well, what if you could feel optimism? What if you could feel gratitude? What if you could just feel content? And the
Mm.
difference between how you may be feeling or how what might happen come March, when the year really starts to kick off, But the difference between how I am feeling and how I want to feel is in the activities.
Yes.
So if I want to feel more content or if I want to feel more energized, show me your calendar. Where did you make time for yourself? Where did you, even if it's 10 minutes of mindfulness or walking or whatever it is for you, map the calendar to the way to the outcome. So that's one way, two ways to look at goals.
Absolutely. What I like about this is that it's not this mammoth task of like, I have to achieve this or that. You can make little changes the whole time. And it sounds to me like it's a lot around mindset as well. So, and I think people see this with all sorts of work things, like they go into a meeting with an expectation to close a big deal, when the
Yes,
expectation of the meeting should just be to get the next meeting, for
100%.
example. And
Or
this is,
solidify a relationship or
yeah.
connect. Absolutely.
Yes, and just exactly that and connect. And I think now more than ever in this technology age, everyone is actually needing that kind of connection. And that really ties into what you were saying about how you want to feel, and how you feel when you're around other people as well.
Absolutely. But something I want to touch on, because I do agree that I think we should have big goals and I think we should get excited. So
Aim for the
I'm all
moon.
for the micro, I mean, I did a TED talk on micro wins. So I'm all for, yes, it's small incremental steps to get there, but I think we should challenge ourselves to have big goals. And something that you can think about, because I always say success leaves clues. So if you think about something you do really well now, a habit, a hobby, something that you don't even have to think about it, you just do it. What are the success clues in there? So, for example, I would say, let this not kind of, come in any arrogance to it, but I'm one of the lucky ones I really love exercise. It's part of my day. It's part of my world. I'm a better human when I'm doing it. And I've often gone, okay, so if you can do that, I wouldn't say effortlessly, but if you can make that a part of your day, irrespective whether you feel
Yeah,
like it or not, what are you doing? And now, what can I do to bring that to a work goal? So
right.
maybe something that I could definitely be better at is sales.
Sure.
It's one of those things that I like to, we all want to be more comfortable. So if I said, okay, what am I doing? Well, I'm planning. I know exactly my diary when I'm doing it. I know exactly what I'm doing that day. There's no, do I feel like it? Do I not feel like it? So I thought, okay, how do I bring that to a sales routine for myself? So I mapped out, okay, so these are specific days. This is when I'm going to do it. I'm going to block it in my diary. Who am I going to speak to? Okay, so I'm not going to sit there for an hour and go, who should I phone? Because then the
Flipping
time,
through
oh, well, I did
tabs.
my sales today. But it's just, so whatever it is for you, what do you naturally do well? What are the steps in that? And then what can I do to replicate it against the big goal? And
Right.
then, but another element in that, so absolutely focus on the process. What are the small things you're doing? But I think for me, the biggest thing, and I've seen it with my clients year in and year out when it comes to goal setting, and this is what causes the most anxiety, is we've got this ideal timing plan. So in our heads, it must happen by then. And if it doesn't, we get irritated, we blame ourselves, we get despondent, we stop doing it. But if we said, okay, I'm just going to do the right thing every day. If every day I'm moving a little bit closer, I'm going to be open to what it looks like and when it happens. It's not about not taking action, but it may not go in the exact timing plan we want. And sometimes it's about trusting that, let's say the promotion you wanted hasn't come off yet, or the role hasn't come off yet. And if you look back and you thought, geez, but thank goodness, because I actually needed this time with my family. I
Yeah.
needed, because maybe I had a sick parent, or my kids were going through something, or I just needed the time to pause a little bit for myself. So it's also trusting the
The
timing. It will
process.
happen, but just keep taking action. Trust that. I know it's a cliche, but really trust the process.
Yes. I think that it's also, because something that comes into that conversation is accountability. And so I mean, I know for me, and I'm sure for you as well, as entrepreneurs, we can be really hard on ourselves because we only answer to ourselves. And then if we don't achieve something, so that's something that I think a lot of people really need to look at, is just allowing for a little bit of overflow. And then where do you find the balance in that, like, how do you give yourself deadlines in terms of then to draw the line and know, okay, I need to step up and I need to make sure that I am staying accountable to myself and really seeing this through still. It's a
So
big
it's such a good question,
question.
and I love your question, but I love the term of overflow. It's such
Mm,
a great concept. For me, I think it's go back to basics. What are the basics? It's planning. So I like to plan my week before I'm in it. So
mm,
on a Friday afternoon or a Sunday, I go, what needs to happen
mm.
this week? And sometimes I'll go a month out and I'll say, what is on my calendar for this month? Okay, I've got this going on, this going on. Maybe it's a big workshop. Okay, when am I prepping? When am I planning? When am I going to do this? Because stuff comes up. And then I can relax
Mm.
because I know you don't have to think about this because you've said scheduled time for Wednesday. So you don't have to think about it till Wednesday.
Yes.
But it's planning and it's knowing what do I need to do? What's the most important thing? If I can look at my calendar and see that I'm making progress and that I'm getting to something, and maybe something comes up and I need to shift it, but it's just that for me, discipline is freedom.
Mm,
So when it's
agreed.
in the diary, then I just need to keep
Guilt
doing what's the next right thing.
free.
What's
Yeah, like
I wish I could say guilt free. As you said, we are,
we
why is it
try,
more and why
we
is we
try.
doing? But
That's
it's,
part of the goals for this year. Guilt-free downtime, knowing that you've earned that rest
yeah,
from,
and even,
you
and
know.
I think equally important is goals should be rest.
Yes.
Part of your goals should be when am I energizing myself? When am I taking downtime? Maybe, and if it's, if a lot of the audience are entrepreneurs, you can have a day where maybe it just flows and you don't, not necessarily take the whole day off. I mean, great if you can, but okay, you know what? I've got an hour. I'm going to go read. I'm going to go watch that YouTube video I wanted to do. Not the rubbish stuff, but we're always learning and we always want to watch people and we always want to, there's this appetite for growth and learning all the time. I'm going to do that today because
Yes.
plan your rest before you need it. And
Yes.
that's really
That's so
important.
powerful. Yes, absolutely. Because, and this is something Shivlis punts all the time, is that rest increases productivity. You know, taking time out, taking that actual rest will make you more productive because you are a better version of yourself when you've had rest.
Absolutely. And even to your point, I mean, I always said the previous version of myself. So the one thing I am fanatic about is my facials. And I will go my every 6 to 8 weeks. And I used to arrive there, I would leave more stressed because I'd be sitting in the facial going, "Oh, but I shouldn't be here. And what
The
could I be doing?"
time.
And I
Mm,
made it the most unpleasant experience for
mm,
myself. And what, when you come out, nothing shifts. Now I go in, it's in my calendar. It is so protected. If someone wants a meeting, I'm so sorry. I can see you after 11. And I cherish that time because some of
mm.
my best ideas have been when I've switched off. And I just have this gratitude that, wow, thank you that I can do this today. This is so amazing. So absolutely, whether it's a massage, whether it's just something, and it's not about, oh, I'm just spoiling myself, but it's the time where I'm just allowing my brain to switch off,
Yeah,
to wonder. And you might even I get my most creative and inspiring ideas when I'm in those sort of environments and
absolutely.
spaces.
It's priming yourself, really.
Yes.
That's actually no, that's the fact. So I love this, and in the spirit of keeping our videos kind of short, which I like
Yes.
to do, um, you know, coming up, there are so many exciting things in the calendar. We've got Valentine's Day coming up, which we are so prepped for. Our mood board is absolutely stunning. I'm so excited. It's one of our favorite times of year because we just deliver love to everybody's desks. It's the best time. You get there and everyone's so happy to see you, like little cupids. It's the best. But also coming up is International Women's Day, and this month's or this year's theme is all around diversity and stronger together. This is the pose for those who don't know. So show your guns. And Lori is really good at working with diverse crowds and an excellent speaker. So I'm going to just throw that little one in there, that if you need a speaker for your International Women's Day event, please get in touch with Lori. How would be the best way for our audience to reach you?
Best way is you can come to the website, so beyondthedress.co.za, or my personal email, Lori, Lori, at beyondthedress.co.za.
But thank you so much for
Thank
joining us today.
you.
Absolutely awesome. I hope there are some fantastic takeaways for our audience. And may 2025 be a fabulous year for all of
All
us.
of us.